been wanting to do, and especially having PTSD, like with the whole experience I've had with this recent trauma to my hair. I feel more compelled to really lean into my art more as a way to help me cope. So, something that really has been on my mind for quite some time. Um, this is something I've been thinking about. But I get asked questions a lot by people about my dating app experience. So I do feel like overall, so far, my favorite dating app is Hinge. I really have enjoyed the just usability of the app. I feel like the user experience is really nice for me. I do like the prompts. I felt like the Hinge prompts give you a chance to really express yourself. The premise behind it of quality is better than quantity. Like, I do believe that also. I found, I would say overall, it's like a more down to earth crowd, it can seem like, versus maybe some other apps. And I love being able to set preferences. Like in the Hinge Plus is the one like I really like. I think it's called like Hinge Plus. So I did actually really think like the plus, I like that better than just the regular one, but I started off with the regular one. And I do feel like the likes and everything are pretty straightforward. I think the what makes it the most interesting for me is the prompts, like just the creative like aspect into it, like very like interesting questions, and like the captions are all really interesting. So I feel like as a writer, especially, got to be creative in the prompts. So I enjoyed that aspect of it. Um, I would say sometimes it can feel, well, I feel like it is maybe, I'm not sure like what the most popular dating app is. I guess this is the one that I like have used the most, and just like overall had the best experience with. So I would say pretty much Hinge is my favorite dating app. Um, Even though I have made like a good friend on Tinder before, so I don't necessarily think is, well, yeah, I would say I actually would say in a way it is just like app preference, I guess, for me to like Hinge better, just with like the accessibility. I feel like with my Apple OS, it just works really well. I don't think I've used it. No, I've never used that on an Android. I never really got into the roses. I think there's like one free rose every Sunday, I believe. Um, I've only really done that a couple times, so that wasn't really my thing. Like at least for me, that I felt like was something I wanted to really use in the app, but just the regular likes, respond, or the heart, the regular hearts, like responding to prompts. Like I do feel like it gives you, I feel like it gave me a chance to, talk more about my interests and like show my personality. So I really appreciated the fun prompts. So has anybody used Hinge? I did a video on Instagram at one point about my okay Cupid, I believe, when I was on premium, about my experience using premium. But I would say, like I said, like Hinge still is like my preference. I do feel like for me, um there's probably been one point in time I was like, oh, I wish they had like a website and not just an app. Probably at like one point in time, but it is like pretty accessible. It's, I'm not necessarily on my phone all the time. However, it is convenient in that sense to have an app. I do feel like it would be cool, like if it was also a website, but I do feel like apps are more just like accessible in that way. Unless you really want to go on a computer, which sometimes I do, but I guess that's the one thing that maybe I would like to see is like a website option would be cool. But the lights, the likes, the likes worked well for me. Yeah, like I said, the roses weren't really my thing. I do also feel like there is, like, it is popular enough to have a variety of different people to meet, you know, setting the location, setting things like that. But at the same time, I felt like, you know, not necessarily like preferences are like okay, but it's more than just like preferences. Like it's also like connection. And yeah, for me, like, for me, it has been interesting. I remember kind of like back in, like, I remember Zanga. Zanga was like really cool, but those were the days, though, the Zanga days. The Tumblr, good old Tumblr days. Like meeting people of like similar interests, but it's so interesting. Like, I feel like that to me, like common interest is a good thing. And like, I've been able to meet people with like similar interests because of these creative prompts. So that keeps it exciting. And the whole like your turn, their turn thing, like that's pretty interesting that it separates that for you. I know there was a video call feature. I kind of miss that feature that was in the app. I remember when I used it for the first time. The first time I ever used Hinge, actually, what was that, like last, oh my gosh, like, was that like last year or the year before that? Like, I was just like, this is so, just, felt like a whole different time. Like, the time when they had the video chat versus now, like it feels like a whole different like dimension of time, honestly. Hi everybody. So this is I'm filming this live, so if people are watching this later, I've been doing so many live videos, just trying to get these uploaded. Hey everybody that's joining the live. Um, thank you. Thank you so much. Abkase ho. Met a Chihun. It's good. It's good to be happy. You know, even though there can be, you know, just sources of stress and just sometimes, you know, things can get challenging, but trying to remain resilient, you know, going to therapy, all of that, I feel like has been helpful. So I really don't want to get too distracted here. So I have ADHD. So the Hinge app, I do miss the video chat feature. So who knows, maybe they'll see this video and consider it. But yeah, I remember that back in the old days of Hinge, the OG days, back in the day. So I'm doing infrared light in this live video, live. So I would say, like, also the people I've been able to meet on Hinge are from different walks of life, different types of people, being able to, you know, be like learn from others, connect with others. That's been an amazing thing. I honestly have like really enjoyed that. So let's see. Reporting this comment. Let's see what else here. Okay. So I'm trying to think. Yeah, I have, like I said, I used Tinder before. I did actually like the aesthetic of Tinder. I guess that's the main thing I would say I liked about Tinder. Not a huge fan of some other apps. I would say OkCupid was all right. It was okay. Like, I actually did like the questions on there as well. They actually have a lot of questions on there that really help see, like, engage common interest. So it's so funny because I feel like this is something like a lot of people have asked me to cover. So I definitely look into all the feedback that I get from videos and just friends reaching out and ask me my experience, and that's what inspired me to do this video. But it's so funny to me because I've been talking a lot about, you know, really, if you go on Instagram, I did a whole video about, you know, jealous people and stuff like that. So it's just funny that now that I'm actually talking about this stuff, I'm seeing more and more comments that are people, no one is telling them to be in this live. So if they don't resonate with this content, they don't have to be here. But it's just so funny because I've been acting since I was 4, since I was a kid. I've always done public speaking, like in school, growing up, United Nations Club, doing speeches. Like, I did the announcements in my middle school. I was my student government president in middle school, so I did the announcements. So, I'm used to, like, being in that kind of space of advocating and public speaking. And I've done improv performances, all these kind of things, and I've spoken on my experience. And even back on Periscope days, like, I've been going live ever since, like, Periscope days. So good night to those that are maybe it's late where you are. Buenos dias to those where it's early where you are. Buenos dias. Because I feel like it's probably like 1 p.m. in India right now. 1 p.m.-ish. So that's like, what would that be? 13? No, not 13. 1300. I think I need to update myself on military time. 1300, I believe. Yes, 1300-ish. So it's funny because, especially having PTSD and anxiety of, even when you go through like a new trauma, and I'm speaking like from my own personal experience, like when I'm going through this, it does actually affect my sleep. So it does affect, like, just how I'm feeling emotionally. It's taking like quite a toll on me. So that's why I feel compelled to share just my whole journey about this. Because I've always had people say, like, they were interested more in like my real life, like things I had going on. So that's like also why I feel inspired to talk about the Hinge dating app. And yeah, for me, that was my favorite one. But y'all have to let me know what apps that y'all use for dating apps. So I've got a couple more dating specific, relationship specific story ideas that I've been needing to get out there. Just really creative stuff. Like, I'm also a comedian. I love telling jokes. So stay tuned for that. But I also know the importance of keeping it real. So for me, it's been a blessing, really, to be a content creator, filmmaker first. But it's so much moderation I have to do on here, like, for the lives. So yeah, that's pretty much, I feel like I completely covered my experience on there. Like I said, I would recommend it, like, to a friend. If a friend asked me, like, I would recommend it. But other than that, that was just like my own personal experience with it. I guess everyone has their own experience. I definitely have had to, exercise a lot of safety in it, and, just make sure I'm doing it safely, because it's still like, an online app. So, I just always say that with everything, especially dating apps. But I think also just, you know, even just having a call with someone before meeting them to see if you have a connection, like that's something like I've always done. So that really helped. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed Hinge, and let me know what y'all's Hinge experience was. I would love to hear it. Thank you.